before I answer that question, I just want to give acknowledgement to Dr. Oren's excellent presentation. Thank you so much. Your presentation and your overview basically flows into many of the issues that I want to raise as well. Those issues relating to that there's historical legal basis and the impacts of colonialism and the law and racism. To answer your question, and coming from my work as a professor, but not only as my work as a professor, but also my experience as a First Nations woman, relating to life on a reserve, relating to life under the Indian Act, relating to life under the control of the Indian agents and the missionaries and the RCMP. And I'm going to be bringing you this from this perspective as well, because it's really critical that you need to know what was those historical and current factors. Well, I am an historian. That was my undergrad. And when I was in law school, I really focused on legal history as well. Because history is really important, and especially when and I can't stress it enough, and we heard it from Dr. Oren as well, stressing it enough when there's a historical basis such as the Indian Act. But what created that Indian Act? There was a foundation that was put into place, or it was utilized to marginalize and to oppress and depress First Nations people, or the original peoples of this land. You had those colonial legal policies, colonial laws, such as the doctrine of discovery, terra nullius, manifest destiny, and the many papal bulls that were issued by the Vatican to render us as inferior, to place us as wards of the crown through Section 9124 of the British North American Act of 1867, which gave the fundamental basis for the federal government to have total jurisdiction of Indian people in Indian lands, to allow the federal government, or give them that authority to create laws such as the Indian Act, which add tremendous, and even to this day continues to control the lives of First Nations people on reserve, even to the point of determining who had the right to be an Indian. And that is why I introduced myself with that government number. We are doggy tagged, or we're given that number, registered as an Indian under the Indian Act. We didn't even have the right to determine our own citizenship. And that is a fundamental breach of our self-determination. These laws were put into place specifically for the object or objective of assimilation, genocide. And that is the historical basis to where we are today when we're looking at the child welfare system, because the child welfare system continues to have that goal of assimilation. Those colonial laws continue to be used by the courts today, especially the doctrine of discovery. The late Patricia Montour Angus had said that one of the greatest lies that was ever told is the discovery of America. America was not discovered. Numerous nations of Indigenous peoples have occupied these lands since time immemorial. We were created here on these lands, and we continue to be here. This doctrine of discovery was created by the Vatican in 1450, and it continues to be used by the courts, by the legal authorities, by the systems to continue to marginalize First Nations, to take away the rights of First Nations people to their children, and even to discredit or to dispossess us of our maternal rights to our children. Thank you.
So I'm going to come a little more specifically on the